Looking to get away from it all? Here are 7 open worlds worth getting lost in. Whatever might be happening outside, it's reassuring to know that games offer us a shortcut to myriad other worlds. We're only ever a mouse click away from sun-dappled forests, stirring mountain ranges, and gently babbling brooks. We can get close to nature without worrying about being gored or trampled. And we can even spend so long admiring in-game wind effects that real-life weather starts to remind us of The Witcher. This video then is a celebration of the majesty, scale, and escapism that open worlds can offer. It's like a BBC documentary celebrating the great outdoor spaces that can only be enjoyed indoors, except that nobody had to spend 6 months living in an Arctic yurt to get this shot of a horker. We had to play loads of Skyrim though. So open your windows, take a deep breath of pine air freshener, and prepare to be spirited away to distant lands as we look at 7 open worlds worth getting lost in.
Let's start off with something that epitomises the feel of this list. If you try and play Call of the Wild in the same way you play a normal game, it'll quickly turn into a running around an empty forest sim. You'll find yourself lost in the undergrowth, wondering if the hunt part of the title was actually a lie. But take your time with it, walk, focus and examine your surroundings, and it becomes a unique, almost meditative experience. Tracks will tell you how fast a creature was moving, calls will alert you to an animal's presence, and you can even assess droppings for freshness. Yes, I did just try to sell you a game on the basis of feces inspection. The world around you is gorgeous enough to be a means of stepping away from real life, but the hunt itself is compelling too, a test of your focus and resolve that feels massively rewarding when you finally claim your prize, even if it is a dinky fallow deer that bled to death running away from you. But let me be absolutely clear here, the shooting animals part of Call of the Wild is almost secondary to the calming, contemplative stuff that comes from tracking your prey through some of the most stirring landscapes in all of gaming.
Yes, that says Assassin's Creed Origins, not Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And it's not just because Matt held the broken spear of Leonidas to my throat about putting Cassandra on another list. Greece is, of course, beautiful. But Origins Egypt is escapism encapsulated in a sprawling map. If you've been playing Assassin's Creed since day one, you understand that Ubi's worlds have always been compelling. Hey, I hung around in AC2's Florence until Jesper Kid's music just stopped playing. But the release of Bayek's historical playground was the eureka moment, the sudden sky-high bar for what Assassin's Creed's worlds could be. There's the pyramids, but also the aqueducts, the deserts, and the bustling cities. When it comes to ignoring your in-game to-do list, Origins is its own worst procrastination tool. And if you don't fancy just murdering everything in sight, turning on the discovery mode and using it as a giant interactive museum means that you're not constantly going to be attacked by the local wildlife. Now you can just take in the majesty of the pyramids, learn something about everyday life in Alexandria, or even the fact that some of the people walking past you look sad because they've got toothache caused by sand being in their bread every day. Huh.
Right Right then, we're talking about open worlds as escapism here, and perhaps Kingdom Come's soggy existence of mud, war, murder, schnapps and stolen venison isn't the first thing that capers to mind when you think of alternate places you can't wait to retreat to. But here's the thing, because Kingdom Come is in itself a departure from so many other open world games, it feels special. Sharpened swords sell for more money, picking nettles toughens you up, and much like in real life, archery does not come with a handy reticule. There's a level of detail and invention here that belies the slimy setting, at times making it feel like an Animal Crossing game, albeit one with sleeper holds and dysentery. And because all these elements knit together to make the world feel more realistic, just existing within it feels like a very specific type of escapism. You're not in some fantasy world, you're in a real place during another time in history, and that's something precious few other games can give you. Keep your fireballs and your levitation and your Chosen One narratives games. I'll be over here with my boy Henry, get this, learning to read. Yeah, I can totally read that, even the big words. Absolute booksmith.
I read the page.
Excellent. Well, there's nothing more I can teach you. Congratulations.
Think of open world games, and racing isn't the first thing that screeches into mind. But it turns out that in-game feat aren't the sole requirement, yes, pun intended, for worlds that you just don't want to leave. Forza Horizon 4's UK is a quite frankly too beautiful expanse of roads, rolling hills and cities. Like Burnout Paradise before it, this is a map that you're happy just pootling around in, completely ignoring the events as the seasons change around you, cloaking the world in snow or drenching it in summer sun as you chase deer across a moor. And when you do want to get involved in events, this is no mere racer. You can chase trains or even crash through windmills for movie stunts.
Hey, eyes forward! Ignore the camera. Try to look heroic.
Like the best open worlds, Forza Horizon 4 caters for however you're feeling. Whether that's a jaunt up to Edinburgh Castle, yes, I do feel quite at home, thank you for asking, or just a drive wherever the road takes you. You might be inside a car, inside your house, but it turns out that freedom is just a state of mind. Yes, I said it. Freedom! Yeah, send in the Englishman.
Yes, I know, seeing Skyrim on a list like this is a little like going to a bar and seeing the same one drink on every single pump. But maybe, just maybe, it's a drink you really like. Maybe we can just sit here together and enjoy its richness, its flavour, and that warm, reassuring feeling of not needing to take a risk on something new and potentially disappointing. This isn't an all-new adventure-trailing holiday to an unknown destination. This is a trip back to the family log cabin of gaming. This is where you can recall happy memories of bubbling stew, handsome bards, and kicking bandits off log bridges. It's full of stirring destinations we'll all recognise, places that make us happy to stop playing, sit back and absorb. Yes, I did just big up Skyrim for being a game you don't play. But it's more than this too. Somehow, even in its raw, unmodded form, many of us will still have some surprises left to discover in the 5th Elder Scrolls game. That, or maybe it's been so long and we've played it so many times that we've forgotten more things from Skyrim than we ever experienced in other games, if that makes any sense at all. Do I come here often? Who knows?
Yes, I hear that question often.
Some of the very best bits of Red Dead Redemption 2 are about feel. It's the sound of rain on verdant undergrowth. It's horse hooves on rickety bridges. It's spectacular sunsets, dappling a landscape alive with places you want to explore. Red Dead 2 excels at detail, and all these tiny touches combine here to form a genuine celebration of the Old West. It's all about variety. The monumental, humbling American heartlands contrast against steamy bayous teeming with life. Settlements feel shabby and lived in, where every muddied footprint feels like it was made by a real person. And the weather and lighting effects are impeccable. Nighttime in Red Dead 2 feels dark, cold and intimidating. Riding in the rain will make you want to hunch into your chest and bolt for cover. These landscapes aren't empty either. It's a game crammed with every kind of flora and fauna, and all of it feels real. And this is without us even touching upon the story or characters, which offers an entirely different sort of escapism. If you want a whistle-stop tour of the best landscapes the US has to offer, there's no better place to do it than Red Dead Redemption 2.
Having previously spent 200 words desperately explaining why it's still okay to love Skyrim in 2020, we're finishing this feature with another very obvious choice. But you get no such apologies here. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is the very definition of a world you can lose yourself in. It takes a society full of warring factions, political intrigue and petty rivalries, and effortlessly layers in magic and monsters like an artisan baker making enriched dough. Well, I say effortlessly, but one of the most inspiring development teams in the games industry needed 1,500 people and 3.5 years to make it. It has nearly 1,000 speaking roles, but the result is a game where that creative zeal is visible in every corner of Geralt's battle-scarred world. Escapism in most open-world games means looking at sunsets and feeling kinda gooey inside, and you can certainly do that here, but Wild Hunt takes you to a whole other level of immersion, one that makes you feel like you're passing through an established world rather than standing still in the centre while the universe revolves around you. Please ignore that shot, I'm speaking metaphorically. The point is that games let us temporarily step into places we can usually only see or imagine, and few of them are as rich or real as The Witcher 3. So there you go, ready to go back to real life? No? Me neither. Let us know what your go-to worlds for escapism are. Hit that like button if you've ever spent too much time admiring leaf structure in a video game, and subscribe to Logitech G for more escapist features just like this one. Whatever you decide to do, happy hunting.